Hi friends, welcome to Botanical Woman. Today I thought it'd be a good idea to share with you some of my watering tips because I don't think I've actually done that. So I really hope you enjoy this video and find it helpful. Tip number 1, get yourself a fish tank. No, seriously, you should. Your plants will love you for it. All jokes aside, this year I discovered a portable sink, which I had actually laying around in my house for quite a few months, and only this summer I realized that this is a great tool. So it's literally just a 5-gallon bucket with this colander that you can get at the Dollar Tree. And I use it as a table, and also I use it to obviously drain out the water so I don't have to keep running back and forth to the sink. And it's really saved me a lot of time and energy. If you have a large plant collection like I do, I think this is a great tool. And yeah, you can just store it away in your closet. But I also use it for all these other things. So yeah, a 5-gallon bucket and a colander. You should remove any yellowing or dead leaves that you see on a weekly basis. This really helps me understand the health of the plant. If week again I go back and I find yellowing leaves, that means that there's something wrong. Maybe I'm overwatering or underwatering. So these are really key signs for you to keep on top of. Another tip I have for you is if you have larger plants, say 8-inch and up, make sure when you're watering to distribute your watering and not just water it in one spot. This will ensure that the plant will get a nice, even amount of moisture throughout the pot, and your plants will be a lot happier for it. Tip number 4, get yourself many of these absorbent rags. This one is made out of rayon and polyester, and they have been a lifesaver. I have too many of these for good reasons, because water gets everywhere. With the self-watering pots, make sure to check the reservoir before adding more water to it, because you don't want to flood the system, because then you're going to get root rot. But you also want to see if the water needs to be refreshed, and it's a good idea to do that at least once a month. And so here I'm just going to top it up a little bit, and we're ready to go. I love these self-watering pots for this reason. Always check for moisture before you water. For a lot of these plants, they would like it completely dry in between watering. So do yourself a favor, poke before you pour. I don't always end up taking the plant from its place. Sometimes I will just water a little bit from time to time. However, it is a good idea once a month to at least take down the plant so you can get a really good look of what's going on and remove any dead leaves, and just to check the overall health of the plant, so if there are pests, you are getting on top of it. For some of the hard to reach places, I like to use a turkey baster. This is one that I found in the plant section at a store here called Daiso. If you can't find a Daiso near you, I would just get a turkey baster. It works the same way. I use this a lot, and it really helps me reach hard to reach places. If you haven't seen my self-watering pot video, here it is, but I really love it. Even if I'm not using the self-watering pot feature, it just works great as a cache pot. This plant is a great example that there is something wrong with the medium because it is very light. So even after I water it the first time, you pick it back up and the pot is still super light as if you never watered it. This is notifying me that I need to drench it again. And it's been like this for a couple of weeks now. I'm really hoping that it holds until next spring for me to do a massive repot. But overall, this is a sign that the medium is no longer holding as much moisture. So as you're watering, keep that in mind and pay attention to the pot weight. Here's another super handy tool that I love. It is a little squirt bottle. I am not sure the actual name of it. I got it from Daiso, and it just has this cute little spout that actually really allows me to control the amount of water, and it gets into all these little places that the watering can might not be able to. It's really great for watering my terrariums. It is perfectly normal that old growth will die, and it is important to remove them. For this alocasia, old growth is being replaced with new growth. If you want to know how to get a fuller alocasia, watch my alocasia care video. At least once a year, I like to trim back my vining philodendrons. I find that this really helps them grow fuller up in the top, so there's less balding going on. You know, if you're underwatering or overwatering, sometimes leaves can fall off. So I find just chopping it all off and let it kind of regrow, it does really well. And I say at least once a year because I usually give it a haircut at least 2 times a year. It just gets too long. If you watch some of my other semi-hydro videos, you know that I've converted a lot of my plants into that system, and I really love it because it just makes watering really easy. I just refill the reservoir 3 times a month, and then at least once a month I will empty the reservoir completely and refresh it. And it just makes watering the plants a lot faster. And I don't have to worry about getting root rot as much. Of course, whenever you see pests, it is a good idea to get on top of it. So I always like to add a spoon of systemic to my plants whenever I see either mealybugs or thrips. And if you get spider mites, you can check out my spider mites video. I talk about the spray that I make there. And remember to wear protective gear when you're handling nasty chemicals. With such a large plant collection, I don't usually give a full examination to all my plants. So for example, in this blue section, I will mainly just be topping up and just watering the plants a little bit. And next week, I will give these guys a more in-depth examination. With plants like the Frydek that love water, I like to fill the pot with water all the way to the top of the rim and then let it sit there so it can soak up as much water I can possibly hold, and I'll come back and empty it. But be warned, there has been times I have forgotten to empty the reservoir and it wasn't too happy about it. So don't forget to empty the reservoir so you don't get root rot. If you've seen my recent Peace Lily video, I've recently changed this into Hydro Life, and even though I haven't been keeping up with the watering, it still seems to be doing okay. It's important to bring it over to the sink and wash out any rotting debris and keeping the water fresh to keep your plant healthy. But so far, we're looking good. If you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and comment below if you have a question. We always love hearing from you. Until next time, happy growing.